Hi students. We're going to look at implied main ideas in the presentation today. This is the first in a series of 3 short lecture videos. So in chapters 1 and 2, you learned the 2 basic parts of anything you read, the main idea and the supporting details that explain and develop that idea. You've seen that the main idea can be clearly stated in a sentence of the selection. This is often the case in academic writing. However, sometimes the author decides to only imply the main idea. In other words, the main idea is suggested by the supporting details, but not clearly stated in any one sentence. The reader needs to figure out the implied main idea by considering the supporting detail. So we can look at this image with no words, or with just the words on the back of the car, and we can see what the implied main idea might be. So their car has broken down. We know they're newly married. So the details that we can look at and notice tell us the implied point. The car has broken down, and they are hitchhiking in opposite directions. The implied point is that their marriage has broken down as well. Another hint is that it looks like they have scowls on their faces. So sometimes the selection lacks a sentence that directly states the main idea. In those cases, the author has decided to let the details speak for themselves. They suggest the main idea. There are several reasons that an author may do this. In my opinion, one of the best reasons that an author may choose to go with an implied main idea rather than a directly stated main idea is to make the reading process more active. If the reader is not simply told what the main idea is, then they have to figure it out, and that becomes a more active process. In some cases, the reader may be more likely to remember as a result. So you have to figure out what the implied idea is by deciding the point that all the details support. So we have to ask the same basic questions that we've used to find main ideas. Who or what is this paragraph about? That's the topic. What is the main point that the author is trying to make? And then we can think, does all of the material in the paragraph support this idea? So we need to know the material in the paragraph before we can think, what point could all of these pieces of material be making when taken together? So let's read this selection and think, who or what is it about? I'll read it aloud this time. Researchers who study the science of shopping note that men always move faster than women through a store's aisle. Men spend less time looking too. They usually don't like asking where things are or any other questions. When a man takes clothing into a dressing room, the only thing that stops him from buying it is if it doesn't fit. Women, on the other hand, try things on as only part of the consideration process, and garments that fit just fine may still be rejected on other grounds. Here's another contrast. 86% of women look at price tags when they shop. Only 72% of men do. For a man, ignoring the price tag is almost a measure of his masculinity. As a result, men are far more easily encouraged to buy more expensive versions of the same product than are women shoppers. They are also far more suggestible than women. Men seem so anxious to get out of the store that they'll say yes to almost anything. So we see some details that are being highlighted. These details are about men and women as shoppers, so that must be the topic. So what is the main point that the author is trying to make about men and women shoppers? We definitely saw some transition words that might help us figure that out. So let's see of these statements, which one expresses the general point most accurately. Men always move faster than women when shopping. Women look at price tags more than men. Men and women behave differently when shopping. Men make more expensive choices when shopping. So answer C seems to be the best general point to describe the information in this paragraph. Men and women behave differently when shopping. The other statements are supporting details, and they appear directly in the paragraph. So the main idea is not directly stated. It should be pretty clear that it's implied by all of the material. All of the material talks about the contrasts or the differences between how men and women behave while shopping.